Vice President Leni Robredo on Wednesday says she supports President Rodrigo Duterte's proclamation declaring the Communist Party of the Philippines New People's Army as a terrorist organization. Robredo says she agrees with all of the government's moves to break violence, illegal activities, and terroristic activities. She says, quote, "If what the New People's Army is doing are terroristic activities, then it is only right to declare them as terrorists." Duterte earlier declared the CPP-NPA as a terrorist organization because of their continued violent acts. Robredo says it is important for the government to deliver a message to the public saying it does not tolerate any terrorist activities, whether they be conducted by the CPP-NPA, the Abu Sayyaf, or ISIS. She adds the fight against terrorism should go beyond political affiliations. Solicitor General Jose Calida says the archipelagic nature of the Philippines makes it impossible for authorities to catch all smugglers of illegal drugs. Calida, on the third and final day of oral arguments on the war on drugs at the Supreme Court, says the government cannot police an archipelago. His remark is in response to Senior Associate Justice Antonio Carpio's question on why authorities could not cut the supply chain in lieu of arresting drug lords who are overseas. Calida says, quote, "There are so many places where they can be transported. It need not pass the Bureau of Customs." Carpio previously asked Calida why Chinese and Filipino-Chinese drug lords have not been arrested, when the police circular that operationalized the war on drugs names them as the ones involved in bulk smuggling. Calida says the Chinese drug lords are outside Philippine jurisdiction because they are in China. But Carpio points out that shabu is smuggled through the Bureau of Customs, as in the case of the 6.4 billion peso drug shipment from China in May. Sagip Representative Rodante Marcoleta on Wednesday questioned Supreme Court Clerk of Court Felipa Anama's supposed loyalty to Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno during the House Committee on Justice's hearing on the impeachment complaint against the Chief Magistrate. Marcoleta says Anama appeared to be protecting Sereno out of loyalty because the Chief Justice extended Anama's term as Clerk of Court. Anama was appointed Clerk of Court of the SCN Bank on July 15, 2015. She says, quote, "I'm loyal to the institution, Your Honor. I've been working for the government for 44 years. Marcoleta also says Anama seemed so evasive in responding to the panel members' queries. Earlier in the hearing, lawmakers expressed frustration after Anama refused to answer the questions directly, citing the SC's rules. She eventually relents after an hour-long suspension, naming Sereno as the member in charge when Justice Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre requested to move the cases against the Maute Group from Iligan City to Taguig City. This after Oriental Mindoro Representative Reynaldo Umali said Sereno mentioned this in her verified answer submitted to the panel. Philippine National Police Drug Enforcement Chief Joseph Adnol says cops don't need body cameras because their camera is God. This a day after President Rodrigo Duterte ordered the return of the PNP to the war on drugs after an almost 2-month hiatus. Adnol's remark is in response to uproar that cops should use body cameras on their third try in the drug war.
For me, there is really no need of a body cam. Our camera as policemen is God. Yun ang pinakamera natin na tinitignan tayo.
Adnol says the cameras are not necessary because they are not part of basic police equipment prescribed by the PNP Operations Manual. He adds he wants to show there's no need for body cams during police operations because the public should be able to trust the police. United States President Donald Trump will recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital Wednesday. A senior administration official says Trump views this as a recognition of reality, both historic reality and modern reality. Trump will also order moving the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. The status of Jerusalem is a central issue in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, with both sides claiming the city as their capital. Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, the European Union, France, Germany, and Turkey all warned Trump that the move could trigger a surge of violence in the Middle East.